Hi everyone, it's Tanya and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be my Mini Magical Readathon TBR slash my summer TBR. G from Book Roast has expanded her Magical Readathon once again, and because it's the third year that she does it, it's like the third year at Hogwarts for us. It means that like we are going to Hogsmeade, and so she created this beautiful map, and basically the readathon consists of like us going into different like locations in Hogsmeade, and like you choose the location that you want to go, and according to that location you read the book according to the prompt. As always, it's very interesting, and like you bet I am going to participate in this readathon because I adore Magical Readathon and I absolutely adore the idea. Of course I'm going to participate. But because my June TBR is already like full packed with Make Your Myth Taker Readathon, so what I thought I would do, I would just use the books that I'm supposed to read for Make Your Myth Taker Readathon. I would use some of them for this readathon as well. The Mini Magical Readathon would kind of push me to read also faster for my Myth Taker Readathon, you know? So it's something like that, but I just really want to participate, so what should I do? So I am not going to like every shop because the readathon lasts only for a week, if I'm not mistaken, from 22nd of June till 28th of June, so like 1 week. Of course, I will not be able to read like all 10 books, so I have chosen just like a few, and I will go to a few places. Okay, so let's begin. So the first prompt is that because we don't have the permission to go to Hogsmeade, we have to like unlock the doors, I guess that's like how she explained, in order to escape. And so the first prompt would be the Marauders Map, and for that we have to read a book with a map, and for that I have The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This is a fantasy that I really want to read this year, and it does have a map, like many fantasies do. So that's going to be for the Marauders Map. I'm sure everybody knows this, so I don't have to explain what it's about. A lot of people know better than I do. Next prompt. Next I want to go to 3 Broomsticks, and for that you have to read a book that is a part of a trilogy, and for that I have the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin, and this is a part of a trilogy, and a very brilliant trilogy because each book in the trilogy won a Hugo Award, which is huge. And this is a dystopian novel about a world that is like constantly ending because of different cataclysms and like earthquakes, and so there are different types of people. There's a certain like number of people who can control the nature, all these catastrophes, but they are like suppressed by regular people who cannot do that because like regular people are afraid of them. And so it's something like that. That's all I know about this book. Very excited to get to it. So next I am going to this Sweets coffee shop, and for that you need to start reading a book with a cup of tea. So any book basically. And for that I will try and read The Smoke Thief. I have put this book on so many of my TBRs and I never gotten to it. So hopefully maybe this time around I will be able to get to it. It's just that because this book could possibly not be my cup of tea. I bought this book because I was interested in the like idea of a character who is a shapeshifter and who shapeshifts into a dragon. I bought it because of that, but it's a historical romance, and romance isn't like exactly what I adore. Like it's not a genre that I really like. I like some like romantic stories, but not every romance is my cup of tea. A lot of romances aren't. If it's good, I could enjoy it, but I might not. So we will see. But so The Smoke Thief. I am going to Hogshead. And for Hogshead, you need to read a book which is not popular. So basically has less than 10,000 reviews on Goodreads. And for that I'm going to go with Things in Jars. And this book has, I think, 7,000. I checked, it was 7,000 reviews on Goodreads. So not very popular. And this is like a Victorian England mystery type of thing. because like people start disappearing, and it has something to do with people, like rich people collecting curiosities. Some people can also be curiosities, something like that. Don't know much, but Reagan from Perus Projects recommended it and I thought it sounded very interesting, so I want to give it a try. Next one is Honeydukes, and for Honeydukes you need to read a book with green or pink on the cover. For that, I have The City We Became. So if you can see, there is pink right here and green right here. You can see it better on the spine, green, and so it has also pink sprayed edges. So it has a lot of pink and green going around. And also I'm very much interested in this book because it's by N.K. Jemisin once again. It's set in New York, which is also interesting, and it is like again a dystopian novel. And so then I am going to double up. Like I know that according to the rules you cannot really double up. G said it like if you want you can. So that's why I also want to go to Owl's Post. And for Owl's Post you need to read the book that you got in your mail. And like all of my books I got in mail, like all of my books I buy from like Book Depository, they all came into mail. So I think I deserve going to Post. Wow, Owl's Post, because I really want to go there. So yes, for that one I will double up because I really want to go. Okay, and so this was my Mini Magical Readathon TBR. And now I will introduce you my summer TBR, which is not going to be very strict because I am a mood reader, and like if I am in the mood to read these books, I will read them. If I'm not, I won't. But like I just collected like a collection of books that sound very summery to me, and I think would be like perfect as a summer read. We have classics, we have non-fiction books, we have middle grade, so we have like a variety of genres and age ranges. So let's begin. The first book is a non-fiction, and this is I started it recently. This is a history of Japan. This is a non-fiction obviously about history of Japan, and I want to learn something about history of this country because I have like not like zero. I don't really know anything about like traditions or culture, and nothing about the history. So I hope this book will introduce me. This book, I would say, it's not for like a historian professional. This is a book for like a general public, for people who aren't historians and aren't majoring in history. This is like an introduction, because basically this whole book contains like a whole history of Japan. So you can tell like it's a very general knowledge, like very introductory level, but it's what I need. Like I am not a historian. I need just like a general introduction and just like a line of like what happened in history. And then when I'm interested in a particular period or a person or an event, I can read more on that. But I decided to start with something like general and like introductory. So I think this book is perfect for that. This is the first book I want to read in summer. Next is Ceremony by Leslie Marmon Silko, and this is a fiction book by a Native American writer, and this tells a story about a soldier. So Ceremony tells the story of Tayo, an army veteran of mixed ancestry who returns home to the reservation. He is deeply scared by his experience as a prisoner of the Japanese and further wounded by the rejection he encounters from his people. Only by immersing himself in the Indian past and its traditions can he begin to regain the peace that was taken from him. So basically this is a book about recovery, reconnecting with your heritage and your people. Something like that. Again, I haven't read it yet, obviously. I thought it was interesting. And it also says that Ceremony, a novel that is itself a ceremony of healing, remains one of the most profound and moving works of Native American literature. So that line got me interested, and of course I want to give it a go. And also this edition, this is Penguin Classics edition, and I think it's very beautiful. Like look at it, it's so orange, very summery. So this is another book. Next book that I want to read during this summer is Geisha of Gion by Mineko Iwasaki. And if you don't know, Mineko Iwasaki is the woman whom that sorry, I don't know his name, that American guy. So the author of Memoirs of Geisha, I forgot his name. He used like her story, he interviewed her to write his book, but I don't want to read his book. I just don't understand, like an American man writing a book about a Japanese woman who is a geisha, like, and calling it a memoir, and like, how is it like working? I don't understand. Like, could these two people be any more different, American man and a Japanese woman geisha? So I don't really understand how can he write memoirs of geisha when he is not a geisha. She wrote her own book, so this is her book, by Mineko Iwasaki. This is her memoirs, so Memoirs of Geisha written by an actual geisha. So that's what I appreciate. And she also has like a lot of pictures here of her life, and it's also very interesting, very beautiful pictures. So I don't want to read Memoirs of Geisha, I want to read Geisha of Gion. So this is like an actual book written by the actual woman. This book has actually two titles. So this is a British title, Geisha of Gion. American title would be Geisha Alive. So that would be like a different cover, different title, but it's the same book. So I have Geisha of Gion. That's what I want to read. Next book for my summer is going to be continuation. I'm going to continue with Anne of Green Gables series. And so the next book that I have to read is Anne of Windy Willows. This is the fourth book in the series, and I have already raved a lot about Anne of Green Gables. I adore that series, I adore the character, and so I'm very excited also to continue with the series. This book is a middle grade book, and this is Bloom. I think this book is perfect for summer. It looks like a perfect summer read. And so this is a story about a girl who is like very good, very obedient. She's like the perfect student, and like even teachers come to her for advice on like rules, because there are so many rules in school. And then later she finds like this magical seeds, and the way Blurb puts it, like her world starts to flourish. That's all what I know. But Jean from Bookish Thoughts recommended this book, and I thought that's what I need for summer. It sounds very summery, very beautiful, and just heartwarming, so that's everything I like. Next book is a piece of non-fiction, Aspects of the Novel by E.M. Foster. So basically E.M. Foster, who is like a classic writer, English classic writer, it is his take on fiction and how to write fiction, how to write novels. So I thought it would be interesting to see, like, to read a book about fiction from a perspective of like a writer and see how he does it, what is his take on writing. So I thought it was interesting, and also it was this very big discount, so I got it. And it's a very beautiful book as well. Next one is a Japanese book. This is the Nakano Thrift Shop, and this set, as far as I know, in Tokyo, in a thrift shop, and this is like also like a romance, but also like very touching romance. I like Japanese literature. What I have read so far, I really like how subtle it is, how quiet it is. So that's why I want to read more from Japanese literature, and this is going to be my first book by this author, Hiromi Kawakami. Next one is another memoir, and this is Around the Village Green. I feel like this is also a very perfect like summer read. This is heartwarming memoir of a World War II childhood. I hope it's going to be something like that, and also obviously war experiences. That's what I'm interested in reading, and if it's heartwarming, that's what I need. Next one is a Korean book, and by a Korean author, and that is Human Acts. Human Acts by Han Kang. So Han Kang is the author of The Vegetarian, very famous book, which I also want to read. Hopefully, maybe I will be able to get it in summer. But this is another one of his books, and this has something to do with students' uprising in 1980s. So actually I really like the blurb. I think blurb does a very good job in like describing the book. In the wake of a viciously suppressed student uprising, a boy searches for his friend's corpse, a consciousness searches for its abandoned body, and a brutalized country searches for a voice. From the award-winning author of The Vegetarian comes a riveting and poetic examination of humanity at its most appalling and its most hopeful. So this sounds to me like this blurb sounds so interesting. I like books that raise like social problems and talk about social issues, and you know, books that make you think. So this book sounds also very good to me, and I am excited to get to it. Next one also is a book that has been on so many of my TBRs, and I have never gotten to it, and I really want to, but for some reason, like, I am drawn to this book, but at the same time I'm kind of a little bit intimidated, so I never get to it. But I really hope this summer I'm going to get to this book finally, and this is The Titus Crown. Because this is apparently like a classics of fantasy genre. This book was written in like 1940s, so it's quite old, and it's supposed to be very brilliant, and a lot of people adore it. This is the first book in the trilogy. This is something about this boy, Titus Crown, who inherits a castle and like all the land surrounding the castle. I remember reading the synopsis to this book, and I thought that it was very interesting, but I already forgot what was in the synopsis. But this book is a classics of fantasy genre, so that's why I want to try it. Next one is like beloved classics by everybody. Everybody adores this author, and this is Jane Austen. I want to try. I haven't read like anything by Jane Austen. Oh, everybody adores her. I'm pretty sure I will adore her as well. That's why I want to try one of her novels this summer, and this is, I think I will start with Emma, or maybe Northanger Abbey, because that also sounds like very interesting to me. But I know that she writes like a very humorous novels. I like humorous and kind novels, so that's why I want to get to at least some of Jane Austen's books this summer. Next one is the Lysistrata, and I have already talked about this book a lot. This is Greek classics, which is supposed to be very funny and humorous and just brilliant. This is a comedy where like women are trying to stop the war by refusing their husbands all like sexual favors, and so then it's just, I guess, like women standing up to men. So it sounds interesting, like just the concept. So this is another book I want to get to. Another is also a book that has been on my classics TBR, and this is also like a very summery read. It feels like a very summery read to me. That's why I want to get to it during summer, and this is Cider with Rosie. And again, this is like kind of a memoir of a childhood in a remote village, and that's like everything I like village, childhood, summer, heartwarming memoir. Sounds brilliant to me, so this is another book. One more classics that also has been on my TBR is Brideshead Revisited. So from what I know, this is a book about life of English aristocracy in like the beginning of 20th century. That's like, I might be wrong, but like from what I know, and I remember really being interested in the synopsis, so this is another book. One more Japanese classics is Kokoro by Natsume Soseki. Was on my May TBR, didn't get to it, so I hope I will get to it this summer. One more book which I also want to get to is Sweet Bean Paste. I recently showed off this book in my book haul, but it's hidden under so many books, so I don't want to like get it. I will just put the picture here. So Sweet Bean Paste, and this is also supposed to be something very kind and heartwarming and just adorable. So there you have it, guys, my mini magical readathon / summer TBR. So let me know in the comments what books you want to get to in summer, what books you are excited to read in summer, maybe what books would you recommend to me and to other people to read in summer, because you think that like they're very summery reads. And for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a very good day, staying safe, and I will see you soon in the next videos. Thank you, bye.